ISUPK.
We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Only men prepare to die. We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Never let their brothers fly. We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Only men prepare to die.
The image that you see next to me is the image of 26-year-old Leona M. Hale from Kansas City that was just shot 5 times by Kansas City, Missouri police officers. You know, as a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you have to ask yourself this question. You're a young Black girl and you see something like this, something so heinous. You're a Hispanic and you see something like this. You see the babies in Uvalde County, Texas getting murdered for 91 minutes. You see George Floyd have a knee on his neck for 9 minutes and nobody does anything. You see those elderly Black and Hispanics in Buffalo, New York that were murdered and gunned down while nobody did anything. You have to ask yourself this question. Where in the hell is the Christian church? All of the teachings that the church taught Blacks and Hispanics from our youth of loving everybody. It doesn't seem like it's working, T.D. Jakes. Loving everybody doesn't work, Mother Smallwood. It doesn't work, Bishop Jakes. It doesn't work, Martin Luther King Jr. and Creflo Dollar. All of that talk and that rhetoric of Christian garbage have gotten us murdered for the past 60 years since Dr. King's dream. Since Dr. King's dream, our sisters can be shot 5 times. That sister cried out to the cops, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. The same way Eric Gardner cried out to the cops and said, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. The same way Trayvon Martin screamed for his goddamn life as oppressors can hunt our steps and murder us freely and nothing happens to them. They can go to jail with handcuffs on without a scuff on their face, without a hair being harmed on their lily white head. They can go to jail and nothing happens to them. Where is the justice for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man? Why do we have to be murdered like animals? Nobody else gets murdered like this, man. That sister said she was pregnant. The cops didn't know she wasn't pregnant. The cops were willing to murder a pregnant woman. Murder 2 lives. They don't give a damn. You know why? Because your Christian church doesn't give a damn about Black life. So why should the oppressor? Our issue is a bigger issue than the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. Our issue is bigger than voting. Our issue is bigger than NATO. Our issue has to be the poor leadership in the Black community. Once we get rid of that and serve the Most High God, our women will be safe. Our sons and our daughters will be protected. You can send your child out to school and they will come back home to you safe. The Mexicans in Uvalde County, they couldn't say the same thing. It's time we serve the Most High God and separate from America and separate from the Christian church. Shalom. We're here right now to report on the issue that happened about 3 weeks ago, right here in Kansas City, Missouri. A Black woman, a sister. She was a young sister, the age of 26 years old, and she was shot. She told the police she was pregnant, and at the time, the police didn't know that she was not pregnant. She told the police she was pregnant, so she did not get shot. And what happened was the police shot her 5 times in the stomach, man, after yelling, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. She was only 26 years old from Kansas City, Kansas, and she was shot right here on the block of 634 Prospect Avenue, right here in Kansas City, Missouri. There has been no Black leaders, no so-called Black leaders in the Christian church, no Black leaders in Farrakhan's group, the Nation of Islam. There have been no churches that came out here to protest to make sure the sister was treated correctly, make sure that the sister got correct treatment, medical care, medical attention. Nobody was here, man. Where is all of our leadership in the black and Hispanic community? Where are the black leaders to make a stand to tell the oppressor that you can't do this to our people anymore? Aren't we sick and tired of seeing black people get put to death? Black women get shot down like dogs. Brothers get killed, murdered in the streets. This sister was allegedly charged with firearm possession. The sister was charged with, what else was it? It was firearm possession, it was brandishing a weapon, and it was, give me 1 second, it was resisting arrest. That's what the sister was charged for. Now, you ask yourself this question. As you're a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian living right here in America, living right here in Kansas City, think about the Buffalo shooting that happened in New York about a week prior to this incident. One white man, he walked into a grocery store full of black elderly retirees and he gunned them down like animals. And the police didn't shoot him 5 times in the stomach. The police didn't do anything to him. They arrested him peacefully. Now, why they couldn't do this to that sister? The sister Leona M. Hale. Why they couldn't do that to this sister? Why they couldn't do that to Trayvon Martin? Why they couldn't do that to the brothers down there in Florida? The sisters here in Kansas City, the brothers in Chicago. When the cops come and arrest us, we don't get arrested. We have to get shot first. We have to die first before we get arrested, man. The sister in the video was so disgusting to watch. She was on the ground after being shot 5 times and then they arrest her. They didn't do that to that Devil Peyton Grenard up in Buffalo, New York. They didn't do that to that shooter in Aurora, Colorado. They didn't do it to the Sandy Hook shooters. They didn't do it to Columbine shooters. But you know who they do that to? They do it to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because we are God's chosen people, man. What we have to do is we have to turn back to the Lord. The day is done with committing crimes, black man and black woman. You stop being a criminal and God will protect us, man. If we stop celebrating Christmas, God will protect us. God will defend us. Here's the kicker. We have to stop being Christian. That's what we need to stop doing. We need to stop going into these churches. We need to stop praying to a white Jesus, to Caesar Borgia, that white image of our King Christ. And we need to turn back to the Lord. Because you see, the Christians, they don't protect you. The God of the Christian church doesn't protect us. The God of the Muslim church, Allah, he doesn't protect us. Where was Allah when this sister was getting murdered? Where was Caesar Borgia when this sister was getting shot? Thank the Lord the sister survived and she's in the hospital right now. That's thanks to the Most High God, Yahweh of the Bible. That's no thanks to the God of the church. That's no thanks to the God of the Muslim mosque. But thanks to the Most High God, that sister is still alive, man. The sister could have been pregnant. The cops wouldn't have known if she wasn't. How in the hell would you know if a sister is pregnant or not? If a woman tells you I'm pregnant, you're going to automatically assume that she is. The cops didn't show any remorse. The cops didn't care. The cops shot this sister, man. We're here, the ISUPK, real men of God that are here to protect God's people. We're here in Kansas City, Missouri, and we're here to show black people how to live our lives according to what God approves of. The way we've been living our life in that church is what God disapproves of. What God disapproves of most is our piss poor leadership, like Mayor Quentin Lucas, who is a black man, who you would think would take the side of a black woman who he assumed to be pregnant at the moment. He watched the same video that millions of blacks and Hispanics saw on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram. Nobody knew that this sister Leona Hale wasn't pregnant until 3 days ago. He released a statement right after the shooting happened. He released a statement 1 week after the shooting happened when nobody knew she wasn't pregnant and nobody knew she didn't have a gun. He took the cops' words because that is what black leaders do. Black leaders care more about white people, more about the oppressors, more about the Chinese than they do about their own black lives, than they do about their own sisters, their own brothers, their own mothers and fathers, man. Everywhere we have black mayors, murder is through the roof. Everywhere we have black mayors, cocaine and crack is being sold more than anywhere else. You know why? Because black leaders are not in it for black people, man. Black leaders are in it for themselves. Those Christian pastors that we turn to for help, they are in it for themselves. That Muslim mosque Farrakhan, he doesn't give a damn about black lives. He doesn't care about this sister Leona M. Hale. They don't give a damn when we die. They don't care when we struggle and when we suffer and when we are homeless. All they care about is tithe money. All they care about is their face to be on the news for more recognition for themselves, man. It's time that we join Commanding General Yohana in the ISUPK so we can receive real protection from the only true God, the God of the Bible. It's time that we put away with our crime. It's time we put away with drugs and cigarettes and hoeing and loving hoes. It's time that we turn back to the Lord, man, so we don't get gunned down in the street like an animal 5 times. So we don't get shot at a stop, at some routine traffic stop by some racist white cop with our baby and our woman in the car like Philando Castile. It's time that we stop getting murdered in grocery stores like the brothers and the sisters up there in Buffalo, New York, man, by some racist white boy without a cop's badge. That day is over, man. It's time we turn back to the Lord and we obey his laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, what we're about to go do, we're about to go interview. We're right here where the sister got shot, right here in Family Dollar, man, where these heathens that we allowed to rule over us, they open shops and businesses in our neighborhoods, and they do not care when we get shot. The store was open the day after the sister was murdered. There was no memorial, there was no remorse, there was no empathy from the store owners of Family Dollar. You know why? Because the owners of the companies and businesses in our hoods, in our barrio, in our ghettos, on the reservations, they are all owned by white people, by the oppressors, by Arabs, by Chinese, by heathens that are not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This Family Dollar is owned by heathens. This Family Dollar ain't owned by black people that look like Leona M. Hill. It wasn't owned by Hispanics that look like Leona M. Hill or Native Indians that look like Leona M. Hill. It's owned by people who oppress sisters like Leona Hill, man. I pray the Lord be with that sister and she makes a speedy recovery. We shouldn't be criminals, but it doesn't give the cops a right to gun us down in the streets like animals. Even racist white oppressors that shoot and murder innocent black people, they get to stand trial. They get to have the right of a speedy and fair trial. We don't get the same rights as our oppressors in America. We don't get the same equality and the rights as heathens here in America. Heathens didn't serve, this heathen that owns Family Dollar, he didn't serve slavery. His forefathers didn't serve slavery to build America. His forefathers didn't serve slavery to build Kansas City. Leona M. Hill's forefathers did. And look how she was treated. It's time for us to stop listening to the piss poor leadership that rules over blacks and Hispanics in the Christian church and the Muslim mosque and the conscious community. It's time we listen to the one true leader of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, Commandant Juniana. Now we're gonna go around and we're gonna get a few eyewitness testimony and interviews of what took place on that day. And we're gonna get interviews of blacks and Hispanics that may not have been present on that day, but just to see where their mind is. We're gonna interview a few brothers and sisters just to see where their mind is after this incident took place. We're gonna see how well we still trust the oppressors that rule over us, the heathens that rule over us. So we're gonna get into it right now, man. Hey, Sean. And you said you heard about the Leona M. Hill incident where the 26-year-old black woman was shot. Mm-hmm. Now, tell me what all did you hear about the situation?
I heard that a pregnant lady got shot and she wasn't armed. She was just running from the scene, basically. And they shot her like 3 or 4 times and they handcuffed her. And that's about it.
It was 5 times, actually. They shot her in the stomach 5 times.
And
now
she lost her baby?
Well, I was just about to get to that. It come to find out the sister wasn't pregnant. She said that she was pregnant so that she didn't get shot. So she really wasn't pregnant.
Okay.
Now, how does that make you feel that the cops would have shot a pregnant woman because they didn't know she wasn't pregnant? So now how does that make you feel as a black woman? She was 26. She was a young sister. How does that make you feel that they would just gun down a sister like that, a pregnant black woman, an alleged pregnant black woman?
It's sad. I just feel like they just out here just to basically if you black, you basically automatically a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, us being black people, you know what I'm saying, that's why we elude the police, because we scared we might lose our life. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why she said, I'm pregnant, so she didn't get shot.
Right, yeah. So I feel like the officer that was involved or whatever, he was wrong. He should have tased her or something. You know, this is a woman. You feel me?
Now, let me ask you another question, sis. Did you hear about the Buffalo massacre in Buffalo, New York a few weeks before this happened?
Right, I did.
Where the racist white man was 18.
Yeah.
He killed 13 black people
and he
in
still
Buffalo.
survived, yeah.
Not only that, but they arrested him peacefully.
Right.
Now, what do you make of that situation? In hindsight, it's 2020. Looking at that situation with Leona Hill, and looking at Peyton Grenard, that's the devil's name that was taken or apprehended peacefully after he murdered 13 black people. What do you think about that?
I think that's basically, I mean, it tells it all for itself. You know what I'm saying? If you white, you kill somebody, you you have 100% chance of leaving the scene alive. Then when you black and you kill somebody, you automatically dead. So you might as well go ahead and off yourself.
Not even kill somebody. She didn't even do anything.
She was just running.
Right.
She was scared.
Just like Freddie Gray.
So,
because you know what the police will do to you if they get a hold of you. They gonna kill you.
Right.
But they don't kill white people.
And then the situation, you know, she was in the car that was stolen. She was up. She was scared. Her dude ran out, you know, and left her alone. I mean, what did they expect her to do? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she wasn't in the wrong, and I feel like that was really like she didn't have a gun. I think that was Photoshop. I don't think she even had a gun.
Well, even if she did, Peyton Grenard had an AR-15 in his hand after he didn't murder 13 people, and the cops didn't even shoot him. They didn't tase him. They didn't do anything. So even if she did have one, what gives them the right to shoot her?
Right.
You understand?
They didn't even give her a chance to put the gun down.
Exactly.
If she had one. So.
Can I ask you, was you raised Christian?
I was. I am.
You are a Christian?
Yeah.
Do you believe what Dr. King did as far as integrating black people to our oppressor? Do you think that was wise?
What you mean? To turn the cheek? Not. I mean. What
No. Not just turn the cheek. Integrating meaning that before, you know, when blacks and Hispanics were separate, we had our own.
Right.
Right. Our pregnant women wasn't getting shot down 5 times in the streets like 2022.
Right.
We had our own businesses. We had our own fire departments. We had our own communities, our own schools. We were segregated. Us being integrated.
I think that was wrong.
You think it was wrong?
We should have just gone ahead and stayed like we was, because basically we would have been a stronger community than, you know, integrating with other, you know, races and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It'd be less people on meth. You know, you got black people doing meth now. You know what I'm saying? You got. It's all type of stuff out here. I feel like it should have just stayed in our own, you know, our own race.
Right.
We would have had more, you know. So
now looking back what Dr. King did, do you think that it failed? Do you think integration
most definitely.
failed?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I work in the healthcare field, and this race is still going on. People are racist. I mean, wherever you go, you know, all this everybody kumbaya coming together and all, that's never gonna be.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We always gonna be. What's that called? Segregation. Regardless. I lived in Mississippi when I was 15, and when I went to high school, when we went to lunch, everybody was segregated. You had the Mexicans sitting at one table, you had the whites sitting at the other table, you had the blacks.
It's almost like it's natural.
In Mississippi, it's still segregated. They still got they segregated. You know, everything's segregated. But down here, everybody's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think it was wrong. I think Martin Luther King should have just kept it like it was. You know what I'm saying? We'd be a better community as black people. It'd be less black men dying out here. It'd be more, you know, fathers trying to be fathers to their kids and raise men, you know, raise them up to be men. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be so messed up out here. So I think Martin Luther King was wrong for integrating us with the white and Mexicans and whatever.
Well, Mexicans are our people.
We are minorities. You know what I'm saying? Me and the Mexicans, blacks
to clarify,
and
right. Blacks, Mexicans,
we minorities,
Hispanics,
you know
Native Indians, we the same.
But a lot of Mexicans don't like black people.
That's true. Just like a lot of black people don't like black people.
I mean,
that has to do with how we grew up in slavery. Because when we was all segregated, Mexicans messed with black people.
Yeah.
In the 50s and 60s.
And lack of education too.
Lack of education. Because we were raised in the Christian church. And Christianity taught us to love everybody. And when you love everybody, there's a scripture in the Bible with Christ. You know who Jesus Christ was, right?
Most
the greatest black man ever walked the face of the earth. Jesus Christ said no man can serve 2 masters. Because either you will hate one or you will love the other. Mm-hmm. You know what that means? That if we love America and love the oppressor, we're going to hate our own people. That's why Mexicans don't like Mexicans and don't like blacks. That's why blacks don't like blacks. That's why we all are divided. But yet and still, we still pledge allegiance to the flag. We would never turn against America, but we turn against each other every day. That's good. You don't. We don't either in the ISUPK because we serve the Lord. We serve the God of the Bible. But blacks and Hispanics on a mass scale do.
Right.
You understand? The consensus do, which is why sisters are allowed to go and get shot. Being pregnant, allegedly, again, nobody knew she wasn't pregnant. Mm-hmm. She can get shot 5 times and nobody says anything. There's no mass media coverage. There's nobody covering it. There's nobody saying anything about it. This store was open the day after. Nobody gave a damn.
I live back there. I'm like, damn, they open.
They open. It was like nothing. It's like it's normal.
Like
it's normal.
Right.
Like we just supposed to get shot. We supposed to get murdered. Now let me ask you this last question, sis. What do you think is the solution to end things like that from happening? What do you think the solution is?
What is the solution?
You say you was Christian. We've been Christian since the 50s. Is Christianity working?
God don't got nothing to do with this.
God don't have nothing to do with a pregnant woman getting shot 5 times?
Nope.
Why he don't have nothing to do with that?
Because I'm gonna tell you like this. God gave us all choices. You know what I'm saying? Either you go left or you go right. You know what I'm saying? God didn't have nothing to do with that girl getting shot. That was just a choice of whoever pulled that trigger. You know what I'm saying? We all have choices in life. So whatever happens bad, I don't think God has nothing to do with that.
So are you saying that God can defend?
God can, but
Hispanics,
he gives us choices. You know what I'm saying? So if we make these choices
And we
to
choose
either
to
do
be
right
Christian.
or wrong, right?
We choose to be Christian.
I mean, whatever the outcome gonna be, that's what the outcome gonna be.
But do you think that we can change the outcome based on the choices that we make?
Most definitely.
So now, what would the solution be?
Man, it's 2022. I don't really think we got no solution. I think we done tried everything since the 50s. So I don't know what the solution would be. You know, you can get out here and get on a microphone and speak good and speak godly and try to direct people to a positive, you know, be more positive, but I don't think it's really gonna work. I think what's really gonna work is when the world ends, when God come back down with the rapture and come get his people, and then that's when the eyes is gonna open.
Who are God's people, according to the Bible?
Who are God's people?
Not according to what the pastor say on the church Sunday. Because this is, let me tell you something, sis. What's your name again?
Mo,
Miss Mo. This is what the church will tell you today. When you got out of church today, the church will go and they'll say that the cops that murdered or that shot that sister 5 times, they will be going to the same heaven as Leona Hill. The same cops that shot her unjustly, they will be going to the same heaven as her. Let me tell you what else they'll say. They'll tell you that the same oppressor, Peyton Grunard, that murdered those 10 black people in Buffalo, New York, he'll go to the same heaven. Is that right? Is that just?
No, it's not.
It's not just.
Not at all.
So it seems to me that we have to separate from the church as well.
Yeah, they got
because
a different
Dr.
heaven.
King was
That's
a Christian. They got a different. Say it again, sis.
They got a different heaven.
And in that heaven, everybody comes together.
Right, and it's not. That's not.
That's
reality.
not real. That's not reality.
Nah.
Damn right, sis. Damn
Just
right. I'm gonna give you a hand
like,
for that.
Just like the white man try to say Jesus is white and he
Right.
really black.
He really
you know
black.
What I'm
That's
saying?
absolutely true.
Just like they tried to blind our eyes and say, you know, where our ancestors was from,
Right.
Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Back.
Well, our forefathers are from Israel.
Israel. Well,
Israel.
You know,
we were slaves in
close.
Egypt, just like we
I
slaves
was
here in
close.
America. You know, you are. It's close. But that whole
Yep.
entire region belongs to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Yep.
And in order for us to receive that inheritance, we have to get out of the Christian church. Because what it
I don't
seems like
even
to
go
me
church.
is, well, when I say the church, I don't mean just the commercialization of church. I mean the philosophy that comes with being a Christian. Because the philosophy that comes with being a Christian is you can be a city girl, you can be a hot girl, you can abort babies, and there's no repercussions for it. But the Bible says something different. The Bible says that if you do those things, if you go against, if you make the wrong choice, there's a penalty for it. And we've made the wrong choices here in America. We've made the wrong choices in the UK and Puerto Rico and Cuba and Dominican Republic and Mexico. We made the wrong choices, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And I think that what the Bible says is right, that we should separate from the other nations and their religions.
Definitely.
Because their religions heal us. Christianity didn't come from blacks and Hispanics. Christianity came from the Romans. Catholicism came from the Romans. All of these worships and these practices that we do, like the practice of getting dreadlocks, the practice of smoking weed or ganja, that comes from other nations of people. That's not our culture. Our culture is fringes, sisters wearing dresses, covering their hair, closing their legs, not having sex with more than one woman. No, Islam is not our culture. Islam came from an Arab named Muhammad.
But do they dress the same?
Because he stole a lot of our practices that Israelites did. So the women covering their heads and the women covering their bodies, their women are whores. Them Arab women are whores.
Oh, most definitely.
Just like the African women are whores.
I mean, it told it
Just
all
like
in
the
that
East
one
Indian
movie.
women are
What's
whores.
the movie? Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, they whores, sis. And if it wasn't for black people made Islam popular. Niggas wasn't wearing kufis and man dresses until Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X put one on. We make everything popular. Dreadlocks wasn't a custom in the 40s. Niggas now in the 90s and 2000s in Atlanta and New Orleans, they made dreadlocks clean and popular. Like, we wasn't whores until black women made whoring popular. We looked at white women like Farrah Fawcett and Pamela Anderson and Marilyn Monroe, and black women said, well, maybe I can choose my body, my choice. Then all of the black and Hispanic women followed it. What happens is we take on unclean lifestyles that other nations do, and we take that on and we do it like ourselves. And because of that, we get shot 5 times by KC Police Department and nobody says anything. So what we should do is we should turn back to the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. We should stop smoking. We should stop being Christian, and we should serve the God of the Bible. And we should stop serving the God of other religions. Where is the Bible?
The Holy Bible.
Oh, it's the Holy Bible. You get that 1611 King James, sis.
Oh, it's the King James?
Yeah, get the 16. You got to get the 1611 King James Version Bible.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Because I know it's a whole bunch of them.
It's a lot of books. It's a lot of different things. But if you don't have the 1611 King James Version Bible, you don't have the truth.
Okay.
Damn right, sis. It was a pleasure speaking with you, sis.
Too.
It was nice talking to you. Shalom, sis.
All right.
You have a good day.
Nice
y'all have a good day. All right.
too.
Y'all be safe.
You too, sis. Shalom.
CBS News came out and said that race relations in America are worse than they've ever been. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. The more you try to integrate with a man that's trying to enslave you, the more he's going to rage up against you. Because you're trying to come together with him to share in the wealth and make everything equal when he has no intention of making everything equal.
That's right.
Equal. That ain't his intention.
Time.
Go ahead.
CBS News, the New York Times poll, race relations are the worst in over 2 decades.
Right, because the more you try to stand up, putting Barack Obama in the White House pissed them white people off.
That's right.
The more you try to stand up and be part of the place, the worse you're going to be. The predator wants to eat the weak. He don't want to sit down and have lunch with the weak.
That's right.
He want to eat them.
God.
So if you turning around trying to not be the weak, trying to be equal with him, he's gonna be bad.
Right, right.
That's like the lion chasing a gazelle.
God.
And the gazelle stops and says, hold up, man.
That's right.
Can't we get along? Can't we sit down together, man? Can't we come together? That sounds good to the gazelle.
God.
But the lion got one idea in mind. I'm here to eat you. So what are you talking about?
Right.
And that's exactly what's happening with us. Go ahead.
The New York Times poll said 61% of Americans characterize race relations in the U.S. as bad, including a majority of white and black respondents.
Both sides said race relationships are hard. We could have told you that 8 years ago.
Right.
8 years ago, we could have spared you that nonsense by voting for Obama and put him in office.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The figure is the highest since 1992.
Since 92. Go ahead.
A total of 79% of African Americans believe police are more likely to use deadly force against a black person than against a white person.
And let me tell you something. They've been doing
God. That's right.
They've been doing. I watched an episode of The Wire just last night.
God.
And I watched, I don't know if y'all seen that one where they chase the kid, and then the cop jumps up on the top of the patrol car, and they can't find him. And he runs down the entire program of If You Run.
Who's the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man?
You went to ground in this block, man.
Hey, listen to me, you little fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna tell you one thing and one thing only about the Western boys you are playing with. We do not lose. And we do not forget. And we do not give up. Ever. So I'm only gonna say this one time. If you march your ass out here right now and put the bracelets on, we will not kick the living shit out of you. But if you make us go into them weeds for you, or if you make us come back out here tomorrow night, catch you on a corner, I swear to fucking Christ, we will beat you longer and harder than you beat your own dick. Because you do not get to win, shitbird. We do.
He said he runs the whole thing like they got real cops advising them. And real cops telling them, yeah, this is what we would say. If he runs, we gonna beat the mess out you, we gonna tear your house up. He runs down everything. that they gonna do for the guy running. And then the next day, they show that they done caught the guy. And he beat the piss. And then the sergeant, the lieutenant or captain or whatever, asks him what happened to the kid. And he said, and they turned around and said, well, sir, you know, in the so-and-so precinct, something to the effect of paraphrasing, in the Western District, you run from the cops and you get so-and-so and so-and-so and such and such. That's common. Freddie Gray ain't new. It's all in the wire. It's everywhere. It's common knowledge.
A woman shot and wounded by police now faces criminal charges.
It all started with a carjacking on Friday. Police followed that stolen vehicle to 6th and Prospect. The driver ran away. The woman, identified as Leona Hale, got out. In an image from police body camera video released by the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office shows that Hale had a gun. She was shot by an officer, then taken to a hospital for treatment. Hale is charged with unlawful possession of a firearm.
Call the person that was coming to get you. Tell them they don't need to come. All right? Yes. Okay? So go ahead and call them. I'm going to take you to jail, and I'm going to impound the car.
Before that, she needs to go to...
No.
But I can't call them if you don't open the door.
Why can't you?
Because I will not put my...
Use your phone. It's in your lap right there.
I just don't want to put my hands down. I'm really sorry. I'm just...
You're just really wrong.
No. I've just seen way too many videos of problems.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen any white people get killed? You have.
I've seen an 18-year-old white boy get hit 23 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not saying that you're right.
Right.
Trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues. Call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord?